Good morning. Happy Saturday. I see two people here already. You see me sit down? You probably would have saw a red blur and I ran to my bedroom to grab something. Gorgeous, gorgeous day. Got my coffee. Dogs are out for a pee. Hi, Jackie. So last week we had talked about someone coming on as a guest today. She confirmed she's going to be about 10 minutes before she finishes her hair. How's the weather down there, Jackie? Hi, Sherry. It's the Fib Fest today, but it's raining. It's 25 degrees. What's Fib Fest? Or is it Rib Fest? Fib Fest. Is that where everybody goes and tells lies? I just got a friend request from a Stevens. I had to open it up and see Rib Fest. Okay, so I thought I had to open it up and see because I do have some family with the last name Stevens up north. But I don't believe it was a real account, so I just delete. You get lots of those. Lots and lots of those kinds of things. Give me a second here. Gorgeous day. Remember last week I was talking about after the show I was going to have a coffee and then start loading up the garbage into garbage runs, and then Mike Dumoulin came on and said it doesn't start till the 19th. I'm glad he did because I would have loaded up and drove all the way over there for nothing. So today I do dump runs. At least 2 I want to get done. Oh my goodness, I'm stuffed up. 1 second. Oh, you're up. Good morning. Morning, Sue. Happy, beautiful, sunny Saturday. It's a nice Saturday morning. I got my closet full of towels, face cloths, dishcloths. It feels better. So what's your plans today, Sherry? Anything going on at Second Mile Club? Someday I'll get that. We'll see what time Glenn pops in. Nothing at the Second Mile Club. Oh my goodness. Maybe I'll go back to bed first. Not feeling very well. See, the lake is open. Out here too. The lake is open out here. Oh my goodness. Morning, Susan. Haven't seen you in a bit. How was your trip? You world traveler, you? I'm going to watch my granddaughter barrel and pull race at the barn this morning. Oh, okay. Is that Tiffany's Horsepower Stables? Yeah. And Jackie's making brownies. Yum. What kind of brownies, Jackie? Tiffs. Not the special brownies this time. Do you make those? Hopefully my kind. Morning, Brenda. Didn't see you come in. Happy Saturday. Good. Great time in Mexico. I just had another friend that went down to Mexico and he engaged to his girlfriend while he was down there. And when I see Mexico, my mind just goes to what the media covers, and it's such a scary place to go. I will send you my mailing address. Know that for Jackie. Must be cool here. When I cough, this lens here fogged up. Double chocolate ones for the kids. Boring. So 8:38, our guest will be here in about 2 minutes. She said she's going to be about 10 minutes late. I'm not wearing a hat today. Living on the edge. So our friend from the Friendship Center was back home now. She had a medical emergency. She made it down to Sudbury and made it back home now. She's doing good. Off for a little bit of time, but I'm very happy that everything worked out well. Cherish each day. I was talking to a guy, one of my programs I had this week at work, and I don't know how old he is. He's maybe my age, and in August he had suffered a heart attack, and he was explaining the symptoms of what we was going through, and he was sitting at home, and he started feeling pain in his chest, and he had a headache that went right above his eyes. It stopped going up. It just stopped here, and he said he felt a lot of pain in his chest, and he was throwing up. He was having a hard time breathing, and he said he was just going to go to bed. But he said this is not a normal vomiting. He said didn't feel good about that type of vomiting that he never experienced. So he went to the hospital up in Saskatchewan. And when he got to the clinic, they gave him an injection, for that dissolving a clot, and saved his life, and he's changed his diet. He flew him down to Sudbury, got a couple of stints put in, and he's doing good. Now he said he's changed his life. He cherished each day. He looks at things differently. We're doing some wood carving out of cedar. He's making geese, and his wife came in and his daughters came in, and they were looking at one of the carvings on the table where he was sitting. Hi, Linda. Happy Saturday. And she asked him where that one came from, and he said, I made that. And then she started laughing. And then she said, no, who made that one? And then he looked at her, he says, I made that. And then he laughed. She laughed, and then his daughters laughed. And I started laughing. I said, what's that? I told them they don't believe that you made that. And then they didn't believe that was his because he was very nice. He made 3. In a matter of maybe 5 hours, he made 3. and they're very nice. He painted them, and got the. I think I took a picture of them. Yeah, there's two of them here. I'm not sure if you're gonna be able to see. I wonder why it does that. There you go. Those are wood. He carved those. Can you see them? Try and turn my phone a little bit. There we go. Those are made out of wood, cedar. Pretty talented. You got the eye. It's his first time ever doing it. And I said, "Would you do this if you were back home?" And he's doing a little more sound. He looks at it. He says, "I don't know. I don't think so." He's good at it. He just had the eye for it, obviously, right? And the instructor that was there, he I don't know how many he made. He made quite a bit anyway. Pretty impressive. Nice, but I still hear you coughing away. It's still the cat's allergy. I don't know if it's cats. I don't know. I don't know what it is. I think it's just age. But it doesn't feel good not to be able to breathe. So I got this one. That's why I ran away to my bedroom. You got the same cold. Yeah, this is new. That's probably 3 weeks now for me, Brenda. And it's exhausting. But when I sit up straight and lift my arms up, and then I can breathe better. Yeah, that's scary when you face near death or try to change your life. And like in my case, you really cherish your life and change your priorities and make your life. Yeah, no, it's damn. Been 3 days only. Yeah, I know this has been a bit. He's had it forever. Tracy said it's cats. They're ratting me out, Jackie. But there's someone in my circle, on the outer limits of my circle, I guess I'll say, that was diagnosed with cancer last year. And prior to that, she was always of the opinion that, I would never do that treatment. I would never get that. I'm just gonna go through with it. Hi, baby.
Hi.
Where are you going?
Bathroom.
But she was of that attitude, that I'm not going to get that done, and I would never do that. If I get it, I'm just going to go. But now she's got it, and she's going through treatment. So I always say you cannot say something about someone or something until you're in that shoes and have it experience yourself. Because you don't know. We can talk shit, right? But if you don't know, you can't make decisions until it's on your lap. Oh, that coffee's delicious. I had a dream this morning as I'm sitting there waiting for our guest. We do presentations and workshops at work pretty regularly. Low attendance, but we do them. And we had this one woman from Cash, and she was demonstrating to me this. It's kind of like an exploding tree, and you had to water it. It's almost like a stump. Almost like it had to be a fallen tree, a specific tree. And it was laying down, and she said, "Okay, watch this here." So she goes over and pours some water into it, and then she does something on top of, almost like peeling like a layer of banana, that type of thing, just a small strand. And she did that, and then she said, "Okay, just wait." And all of a sudden, it just like boom, blew up, like it splintered. I said, "How the heck does that happen?" She said, "I don't know. It just does it only with this type of tree." So in my dream, we were getting ready to go to that spot. And when I woke up this morning, the alarm clock woke me up. So I snoozed. I went back and carried on with that dream. And then they woke up again and they said, okay, I better get up. But yeah, it was poured some water. It looked like a willow tree, but it obviously wasn't a willow tree. But again, it could be. It was my dream. It could be any tree. They didn't know. I've been practicing some my guitar, some White Opium. White Opium? No, Dwight Yoakam. It's fun. Love when you can go back to sleep and continue to dream. Yeah, though it's funny. Funny how that happens. Yeah, but it was a tree bent over and it literally exploded. Tracy is here now, bro. Okay. I'm going to send her an invite. Where did it go? What the heck? Where did all this come in? Oh, that was really so strange. Okay. Copy. Okay. Sent it, Tracy. Yeah, big time. I hate when people say migraines or take Tylenol. Okay, I get 17 prescription medications for all the issues the brains are created, and Caesar meds because migraines are so severe, turns into hallucinations and Caesar's. Jesus. Good morning.
Good morning.
You're outside?
Yes, it's beautiful out.
Yeah, up here too.
I gotta enjoy it as much as I can while it's here.
Yeah. Summers are short, eh?
Yeah, too short.
All right. So for those of you who don't know, this is my sister Tracy. I'm the youngest of all of us. All my sisters are older than I am. So,
As you can tell. Not.
Yeah, there's my younger sister Tracy. There's youngest Joyce Tracy, then me, and then Susan above. Susan much older, eh? Mm-hmm. Yeah. So, Tracy, while we got you here, I want you to introduce yourself, where you're living, and what you're doing right now as a profession.
Tracy Kerr, Conditionakasan, Cochrane, Ontario, and Dochine. I'm a Fort Albany First Nation member, and I always introduce myself like that first, and I say I have 2 children, Jeremy and Mason, my pride and joys, 2 grandchildren, Ava and Lenny. We're going to Ava's dance recital this afternoon. Mm-hmm. It's going to be so fun. She's so cute. She's so little. She's 6. So what I do for work is I am the manager of Indigenous Health and Wellness at North Bay Regional Health Center. That role falls under the mental health portfolio, but this role is a new role specific for Indigenous. It's always been managed by another manager, and it's always been mental health focused. But when I started, it's only been 1.5 years, I think. We changed this role to be hospital-wide, and we're a regional hospital, so we support education, I guess, and outreach, support Indigenous outreach patients regionally as well. So when I started, there was really no education, cultural awareness training that had happened throughout the hospital. So that was the first thing. I developed a 5-year strategic plan to increase cultural awareness throughout the hospital, and aim to have North Bay Regional be a culturally safe hospital for both staff and patients. So what we do there is I have a team of 4 people. There's a caseworker who I changed her role into an Indigenous team lead because she's been there for 13 years and she does everything. And then I hired an Indigenous navigator who supports patients internally, and then does some work with the community, family, when patients discharge to either home or hospital. And we have 2 caseworkers. One provides culturally relevant. Sorry, there's a truck and the dog walking by in the back. You're going to hear Jack and Jill. Cody, he provides cultural programming for patients. So North Bay Regional Health Center also has a forensic system. So anybody who's within the justice system and are not criminally responsible due to mental health, they can be admitted in the forensic system at North Bay Regional. I think there's only about 4 or 5 within the province. So our caseworker will provide culturally relevant programming, and which consists of either drumming, powwow, dance teachings. We do smudge ceremony every Saturday morning, or every Saturday morning. No, that's here. We do smudge ceremonies every morning. Bannock socials every Friday, just so that we can have our patients who are admitted to hospital and within the forensic system come together and feel like there's a place for them. We also have Mishkikiwan, which is the cultural grounds. And Mishkikiwan was a name given to us from a local elder here, and it means place of medicine. So we have a teepee on the grounds. We have our traditional medicines that we access there: sage, tobacco, sweetgrass, and cedar. And so we do a lot of programming within the teepee, but because there's such a need for so much more. Right now I'm working with a company called Collier Project Leaders, and they're going to be collecting all the information and programming that we do at the hospital, and then he's going to look for some funding, whether it's provincial, federal funding, Indigenous Service Canada, so that we can expand our services. We need more space to be able to accommodate all of the work that we're doing, and then we want to increase the team. So I've developed a smudge policy so that a patient, if they're admitted into medical side and they're unwell and they want to have a smudge or a cedar bath, depending on their requests, we can accommodate that. So we're integrating traditional medicines into the hospital. We already have integrated the 4 traditional medicines, but it's a lot of work. It's years of work that's going to happen to be able to get to a place where we're providing culturally safe care. But when we have babies being born and mom wants to have ceremony, if she's away from home or her community, we want to be able to provide that to her. Or if there's an end of life ceremony that family wishes to have, we should be able to provide that for them somehow, some way, shape, or form. Right now, we just try to be creative to be able to offer that, but there's lots more that needs to be done. So yeah, lots of work. In order to be able to do all of this work in hospital setting, you have to have leadership who's supporting it. And our president and CEO of the hospital does that. He's fantastic. I don't think I'd be able to do any of this work without support from them. I report directly to the VP of Mental Health and Addictions, and she's also very supportive and open to what needs to be done, I guess, what we can accommodate as far as hospitals go.
So when you came on, there was nothing like that in place. What was your biggest challenge to get to where you are today?
Um, I guess it would have been, and it still is, getting my colleagues, other managers, to understand the importance of supporting Indigenous patients when they're requesting ceremony and providing. We brought in Kelly Brownville. She did cultural awareness training for us, and I had asked her. I had brought her in when I worked in child welfare many years ago, and she was pretty good about explaining why we are where we are today and the impacts of residential school and 60 scoop. So I brought her back and I said, Kelly, we have to go right back to the beginning of pre-contact because the lack of awareness was so significant. So she did. We had, I want to say, probably 200 staff trained, starting with leadership, senior leadership, down to managers, coordinators. But we're going to be bringing her back and offering some training to frontline staff now.
Yeah, you can't change things and implement things if you don't know, right?
Yep.
Education awareness is key.
Mm-hmm.
So the vast majority of your coworkers and your peers would be non-Indigenous as well, I suppose, right?
I'm sorry?
The vast majority of your peers and your coworkers would be non-Indigenous?
Yeah, I think there was a survey done. It's probably 8% of staff are identify as Indigenous. No barking. And that's another thing is I want to be able to work with HR and have a hiring process in place that there are Indigenous specific positions throughout the hospital. And Indigenous people hired to fill these roles and not just filling them. When I posted the Indigenous navigator position, I had so many applicants, but I was very specific on what I wanted. They had to be Indigenous, they had to have lived experience and the ability to speak Cree because we have many patients who come from the north accessing services and their first language is Cree. And we really want to start with being able to establish trusting relationships, and we can't do that without providing language.
Yeah, no, I get that.
Yeah.
I like that term you use, lived experience, because we can go through people coming through, that have finished college and get university and all these fantastic European recognized training and education, but you put them in the workplace. Whereas you get someone who's lived experience can do so much better at the job than someone who's out of school,
Yeah, because we don't want to go backwards and having to spend the time educating and bringing them up to why this role exists in the first place, why they have to be able to provide cultural support. And we don't want to take the time to educate them on how to do that. So we just ideally want to hire somebody who has that knowledge and experience. It's like having an elder in this space. They're so important to have in spaces, and they're recognized from within our culture that they're way more experienced and knowledgeable than many physicians.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
One of the things I really dislike seeing, and even within the First Nations themselves, is when you see the job postings come out and it says on their grade 12. I hate seeing that. I understand that they want to have a baseline that they can measure against. But again, same thing going back to the individuals that come out of college. Again, on paper, or graduate high school, on paper they're there, but they can't do the job even at a mediocre level. But you get someone who's been working in the field for a long time, doesn't have a grade 12, would be so much better at the job. But because they don't have the grade 12, the criteria on the posting says that, so you're wasting your time applying for these things.
Yeah, there's definitely space for individuals who have the cultural knowledge and lived experience without needing the education. But I encourage everybody to go to school and get the education, because we also want to be able to have equitable pay throughout, because if you don't have the education, sadly, you won't be paid equitably. And it's fair. Like if you have somebody with a university degree sitting in a position, but also has that knowledge and experience, they should be paid what they're worth.
Yeah, no, for sure. They go ahead and down. So Susan's talking about they got a position as worker in Cochrane. They applied for funding. Can you see it there, Tracy?
No.
No? Okay, I'll read it to you. She said, thanks to Tracy, Lady also applied for funding. We will be hiring an Indigenous worker here. We have a community working on the job description. We'll also be taking concerns from the community to the board. Looking forward to hiring this person.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and that I would highly recommend that there are Indigenous people interviewing, and they're very specific what they're looking for, and it's an Indigenous person that's hired, because they are going to get a lot of applicants who have interest, and there's going to be a lot of good people. Like there's a lot of allies out there who are fantastic, but we can't get that relationship built, and we can't have patients accessing healthcare if they don't feel safe. And the only way we're going to be able to get there is if we have people that we can connect to.
Yeah, if you don't have a trust level, you're not going to. It's not going to work.
Yeah. Well, and we need the advocacy too, because we know it is a fact that Indigenous people experience racism in hospital and healthcare in all settings. So we need somebody to be able to advocate and demonstrate that there is racism that we are experiencing, and it needs to be talked about.
Yeah, it's a sad truth. Today's day and age.
Mm-hmm.
I'm so fearful of anything seriously going wrong, because as I'm sitting here and I know my plane is openly like this, I do not trust the medical services here in Cochrane.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, sadly that people don't even feel comfortable complaining, reporting.
Yeah, because they know it's not going to go anywhere.
Yeah. But I think if we come together and everybody, is supported, if there is a separate way to process those complaints, the more it happens, the more comfortable people will get.
Yeah. Susan's saying that right now the job description they came up with the job description that you have down there, Tracy. Did you send that to Sue for?
I intended on it. Sue, did I send it to you? I think I did.
My fellow witness racism at the hospital. You give the person my number, but people don't complain. Yeah, she said you sent it to her.
Okay.
I finished my coffee already. 35 minutes. They were fast. So, who was it? Susan. I think it was you that was talking about some services in Hearst. I'm not sure if you feel comfortable sharing that here.
There's lots of issues in Hearst. Is there something specific? First Nation community at Constance Lake, they have that blastomycosis where it's in the soil. I think that's how it started, and it's not going away. But there were a lot of people who were hospitalized because of that. And we had a couple of patients come here, patients that had attended Hearst. There was, I really wish I could remember their names. To honor them. There were patients who've lost their lives, and so there was an inquest that had happened. The hospital in Hearst was under an investigation, and there are, I think, 79 recommendations that came out of that, and I don't remember them all, but there were so many that were. One was to have Indigenous representation on the board. I feel like the board, the municipality has a lot to do with that board, and I think they made comment of you have to speak French to be able to sit on the board. So I think that policy was in place to intentionally prevent others to be able to get on, but there's a ton of shit that happened there. Cultural awareness training and relationship building with the First Nations, and having them involved with their care and planning, because like they say, nothing about us without us. And just the racism that people are experiencing when they attend hospitals. It's the same everywhere, but this hospital in particular was in the news because of the tragedies that happened there and the inquest that was happening.
Yeah, Cochrane's had its some tragedies as well.
Mm-hmm.
And as an outsider, I don't think there's any substantial dramatic changes within the organization.
No, I think community needs to come together, especially the First Nation communities that are serviced by the hospital, and they need to stand up for their members, Indigenous people, urban Indigenous. It's a lot of work. It's hard, but you got to start somewhere.
Yeah, I know it takes years.
Hold them accountable. Yeah.
Even something as simple as that housing project that the Friendship Center is doing, that's over Caleb's on top of whatever street that is. 7th? 8th? 7th, 8th Avenue? There was like a petition to stop that little apartment building from being built because they didn't want natives living in it. They go in there. They went ahead and built it. These are people, they need homes too. They're not the ones that are breaking in houses down the street. So Jackie says there's racism down here if you're Caucasian. Holly experienced her last job this time because she's not Muslim, and the workers that were Muslim, and one assaulted her, but she complained nothing happened. Only got worse. Yeah, geographics. Hey, you go different cultures for sure. Crazy. People just need to be nice.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think we're in a place now where Nan probably could help.
Are you getting any assistance from organizations like that in your position?
Am I getting what? I'm sorry?
Any advocacy from organizations like Nan?
No, I haven't really reached out to them. I consult with the local First Nations here, just for guidance and support to make sure that I'm, not disrespecting their territory. We have North Bay Indigenous Hub, and they service Indigenous population that are not connected to physician. They have the Western medical side that they have physicians, nurse practitioners, and then they also have the cultural traditional medicines and practices on the other side. And they received a lot of funding from Ontario Health to promote cultural awareness training within North Bay. So they've been doing a lot of that, inviting other community services. And as they're going along and becoming more aware of the need and the impact, I guess, that having our traditions has on Indigenous people, they've been very supportive. So it goes for policing, health unit, schools, every community or organization in the community. So they get that training.
No, I see.
Yeah. So as they're learning, it's been really helpful, and a lot of people have been reaching out for more support. And if they are servicing an Indigenous family, for example, they are becoming more aware of our services. So when they come into the hospital, sometimes we do receive referrals from them. But we just completed our Meenawatchehiwin brochure that talks about the services that we provide and how to contact us. So if they want to have support when they enter the hospital, they can reach out to us.
Right.
And that, yeah, we've never had that before. And we're doing, we're going to be working on a video to be able to share with regionally, so they are aware of the services as well.
And Lynn Hurst works at North Bay Hospital, right? As a nurse?
Yeah.
Does she have a sister that works there as well?
I don't think so.
I think she has a sister that's a nurse as well, though, right?
Yeah, I think you're right. I don't know. I haven't met her. I see Lynn a lot because she works as a nurse in the forensic system, and she supports, getting patients to and from our programming. She'll bring them down for smudge, and then when we have a feast, she'll bring them down and she'll join us. And she's so funny, that woman. Oh my God. We need more Lynn's in that hospital because every once in a while I'll hear her talking Cree to a patient down the hall, and I know she's just being silly and foolish because that patient will start laughing really hard. But that's what you need, eh? You just need somebody to connect to.
Yeah, absolutely.
Oh my God, these days.
Morning, Kurt. So in North Bay, Susan said that NAN covers Treaty 9, so you're outside of that. What comparable organization is there in your area to NAN?
Anishinaabe, the Union of Ontario Indians. They're similar to NAN, and they cover all of Robinson Huron.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. I'm going to plug in my phone. It's going to die.
Kurt talking about Don's friend Lynn. Lynnish.
Lynn. She goes walking by me. She said, she's so cool. We came back from Barbados, and then she messaged me when I got back. She was telling me, just to follow up with a patient or something. I got back in, and she's walking down the hallway past my office. She had about 4 patients with her. Good morning, Barbados Queen, she says. She's getting all the patients to call me that. So funny, that woman.
That's funny.
Mm-hmm. It's nice to have that sense of humor, eh? You have to have that. It's part of who we are, is to find things funny because of all of the traumas. That's like a coping, you know, right? That a lot of our Indigenous people are always making funny and teasing people.
Kurt says she's got such an out of voice. It kind of spills off to her husband. Yeah, no, Andrew does a lot of that now too.
Yeah, and you can tell when somebody from home is talking to somebody from home. You get that slang back.
Yeah, it just jumps right back into your body.
Yeah. Yeah.
I don't think Lynn lost her. I haven't talked to her in quite a while though, but I don't think she lost her slang.
No, it's funny. She said when she was in school getting her nursing degree, she was preparing for a presentation, and her mom called. She started talking Cree, and she got that slang, and she says, "Don't talk to me for a couple of days. I got to do my presentation." She didn't want to have that when she was doing her presentation.
I still remember that story when Stephen was working in Temagami when he had his first staff meeting, and he went,
Oh my God. Yeah, I remember one time when I was living in Redbridge, I was cleaning out the truck, and Jeremy jumped in the back, and I thought it was the dog, and I yelled, "Get out!" Jeremy would get out fast, and he just stuck. And then I laughed so hard, and I said, "Oh my God, I'm so sorry." And so I was telling Deb and Pete Larochelle, because I was in Temagami, went back to Temagami, and we spent the night. And we were laughing, talking. I said this, and I told him about that story. She said, "Tracy, what did you say when he did that?" I said, "What did I say? Just stuck, Jeremy." And they're looking at me like, "What is that?" I was going out, and I'm laughing really hard because I thought it was funny too. Like, I mean, what does that mean? It really means nothing. It's just so funny. Yeah. Steven.
So what's your plans for the rest of the day, Toot?
I might go over to Joyce's and have a mimosa this morning.
Morning, Martha.
Going to Ava's recital at 1:00, and then we're all getting together for lunch mid-afternoon, so early supper. And then I'll probably clean the house.
Sounds like a nice date. It's fun watching the little girls dance around like that. They're so cute.
I hope she doesn't get shy, because I think there's going to be about 14, 15 of us.
Mm-hmm.
Kim's parents and her sister, and then us, Mason and Jordy, Joyce and Tom, Joyce and Jamie, Malcolm. So she sees us in the audience. Oh my God, I hope she doesn't freeze. Die.
Wonder if I got time to drive down there.
No, probably not. Ever get there on the highway?
Oh, it's so scary out there. You had a bad experience, eh?
Yeah, that was terrifying. I mean, we always see, transports coming into our side of the lane, and we have time to slow down or move over a bit. When they're passing, we try to get either ahead of them, or we don't want to stay behind them. But when we were coming home last weekend, we were pulling the camper, and I was on my phone, and all of a sudden I heard Steven, it was a sound I've never heard come out of him before. It was terrifying. And when I looked up, there was a transport in our lane. And if if the transport driver hadn't have turned his wheel and got back into his lane, we would have been hit head on.
Wow.
It was so terrifying, and it happened so fast.
Yeah.
We had no place to go. Yeah.
And pulling a camper, it makes it even harder to do anything.
Yeah. Yeah. So cool.
Be careful on the road for sure.
Yeah. What are you doing for the rest of the day?
I'm gonna have another coffee, and then I'm gonna start loading up the truck and do a couple of dump runs. Lots of stuff outside in the yard I want to tidy up and get rid of it. I was keeping it, I'm a hoarder. I like to keep stuff, but I'm gonna get rid of it.
Yes, get rid of everything. We try to do that.
I've been told that by so many people. Just get rid of everything, start making your house your own, and hard to do that because I can use that 2x4, that little 3-foot 2x4.
Oh my God, that's people's mentality. Eh? I might use this, I might need this, but you know what? When you get rid of it, you realize that, no shit, I should have kept that because I needed it.
Yeah.
But every time we moved, we would get rid of some stuff. And I think it was when we renovated the kitchen here that I realized I have way too much stuff and I don't need everything. So a lot of the stuff that I packed away when we started the renovation is still packed away. Didn't need it. Yeah, we just took out what we needed, and it's still that case. So I don't like things on the counters.
Yeah, I got clutter. I got stuff that, like, even behind me. This crock pot, I got 2 of them. This hasn't moved in a long time. this cup here.
Oh God!
So Glenn is here. Robin's here, so you're gonna empty Billy's house and leave here. Glenn's favorite thing to do is a dump run. Guilty of hoarding.
It feels so good. It's so satisfying doing dump runs.
Glenn said he's been banned twice from the dump.
Is he taking stuff back?
Yeah, you loading up your truck, Glenn? So Susan Black says, so great to hear the work you do, being brought up in Cochrane, never knowing my First Nations culture growing up. I'm currently working Indigenous services and got to meet my biological family. Wow, I love that. I'm learning more about the Indigenous people. I'm a 60s scoop. Yeah?
Yeah.
Lots of that.
Lots of that.
When Glenn Kurt asks, when it's not cluttered, when does it become garbage? Yeah. Fine line there, isn't it? I never looked at it that way, Kurt. But you know, I've had a couple things going like Cochrane virtual sale, you know, and it still works. It's perfectly fine, but nobody wants to buy it, so maybe it is garbage.
Yeah, it's probably garbage.
Like a crock pot, you know, like a little pressure.
Give it to somebody. I'm sure somebody will want it.
I'm too crusty for that. I'd rather throw it away than let someone else use it.
Oh my god. We have I don't know how often we have it, but once in a while, I guess. Maybe once a year. I don't know. I never do it. You put your stuff on the side of the road and it's the same day. So everybody in North Bay can do that. Put whatever you don't want that's fairly still usable. And people will go around and take it. It's like a trade.
Hmm.
Yeah, it's pretty cool.
Some of them probably sell it after.
That's okay, as long as it's not in your house anymore. You do it with it. Yeah.
He said he refused to pay once. The guy had his thumb on the scales. Oh, yeah, eh? Yeah. Make a buck. What the hell? I wouldn't have paid either, Glenn.
Yeah. It's expensive to get rid of even a mattress. You have to pay separately, even if you have a truckload of stuff here.
Yeah.
It's not, you don't just pay for your truckload, you have to pay like for large pieces and mattresses, it's expensive, separate.
Right.
Sure.
So Jackie says, I would like to know more about my First Nations family. Bruce will need to teach me. Well, rule number 1, Jackie, that doesn't matter if you're cousins. Turn off the light. You're not cousins in the dark. Kurt, that's what I want to do, but Dawn says put her stuff on the side of the road. Put her stuff in that box at the end of the driveway. Glenn said he did. I had to call the dump master in Bracebridge. I was right. Wow, we went that far, eh? Good for you, Glenn.
Mm-hmm.
Stand your ground at the dump site everywhere. It's important to voice your opinion, right? So it's 9:23. So, is there anything you would like to say, Tracy, to our viewers and people who be watching this after that are not here right now?
Is this recorded?
It will be for 30 days.
Oh my God. I would just say to those who are not familiar with the racism that Indigenous people experience, become familiar with it. Just an advocate and just be aware. You know, it's sad because when I was working at the school board here, I was advocating for the families who moved from the north and helped them transition into the school and into the community. And anytime, you know, I would just let the principals know what experiences some of the families are going through, and they don't see it. They just absolutely do not see it unless it's blatant racism right in front of them. They really don't see it. So I think it's hard to notice, but even the microaggressions that we experience on a regular basis, I guess learn a little bit about it could be for anybody, you know, when it doesn't matter what culture you come from, we all experience some form of racism, right? Being more aware of what other cultures may experience, I guess is what I'm trying to say, and be an ally. Speak up for them, because if we are witnessing racism and we're not doing anything about it, we don't say anything, we're just as guilty.
We're contributing.
Yeah. And so I think if more people just advocated for each other, regardless of who you are and where you come from, I think it's really important.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, we all have a responsibility to learn. It's easier to stay within our own little shelter, you know, within our own comfort area, but it doesn't do anything for society.
Mm-hmm.
Robin says she was at a restaurant for breakfast the other day, and the waitress asked if we knew what eggs Benny was. What?
some of the stuff, but not all of it, right? God.
What an odd, narrow-minded person. It's funny. But yeah, so thank you very much for coming on, Tracy. I enjoyed it. You got lots of challenges, and thank you for the work that you're doing there. You're doing us proud.
Thank you. It feels good, and it doesn't feel like work sometimes, but I think the biggest challenge is having to advocate for Indigenous people as an Indigenous person, because it's personal and it's hard, and you go have all these emotions of some days I want to cry, some days I want to be angry, and it's just trying to cope with all of the challenges that I am faced with, and as we all are faced with. But it's really hard to do that.
Yeah, because it's so real.
Yeah, and so I understand why we don't want to put ourselves in these positions, but we have to.
Yeah, it's time for change.
Yeah. Thank you for the invite.
Yeah, I'm glad you came on. I'm glad you did your hair.
I didn't even. I thought, oh no, I don't have time to shower.
So Robin says, thank you for the work you do. Love you both so much. Kurt says, Tracy rocks. Jackie says, thank you, Tracy.
Meg bitch.
All right, so 9:27. You can log off if you want to. You can hang around here for the next 3 minutes before we say goodbye.
No, I'll log off.
Okay.
Have
a good day.
Love you too. Bye-bye.
Yeah, so she's got a tough job. Working in positions like that where you have to go in and make changes in an organization that is perfectly fine being status quo, not easy. And even with working with other First Nations people, there's certain things that are said and done that don't really align with what, in my opinion, our culture actually is. So I'm guilty of that, of not taking the energy and the effort to try and, I don't know, educate them, become more aware, become more sensitive, I guess would be the word. Become more sensitive of the things you say and do that are not really the way, natural laws, So 9:28, I'm going to have a coffee, and then I think I'm going to start loading up my truck, do some garbage runs. I have to run into my office. I put some willow. I cut a whole bunch of willow chunks. I put it in my natural oil distillery. And usually by the time it's done, by the time I turn off the element, I can see a distinct layer of oil on the fluid, the liquid hydrosol. I can see a layer on top of the hydrosol, and I saw nothing come out of those willows, so I don't know what kind of a harvest I would get out of willow when I'll try it again or not. Maybe I'll wait till I get some full foliage. I don't know. We'll see. Kurt says go fishing. Fishing is boring, Kurt. I did it up there just because the kids wanted to go, but yeah, no, I find fishing boring unless I'm going to set a net. But yeah, no. So I'm going to connect with you later on this evening, Robin. Watch for your message, okay? You like to bake and cook stuff, because I want to chat with you about something. So it's 9:29. Thank you all for coming in this morning, joining us and listening to Tracy's her career, her what she does at work. It's pretty rewarding. It's so challenging, but it's definitely needed. Don pipes up in the background. No, it's not. I think maybe for next Saturday, Kurt, when you come in, go to the shed. Leave her away from here, because I can hear her voice when she said, "No, it's not." All right, it's 9:30. Thank you very much, everyone. See you next Saturday. Be safe. Be kind.